Yes, sir.
We back.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
yeah, we are back to the Couch Coach. That is right, the Couch Coach, your weekly pit stop into the greatest sport on this planet. If you are a football guru, if you love fantasy football, the playoffs is on the way. If you just love this sport, you come to the right place. We got a special show today. I am your host, BestShow XO. I got my guy Tim Jitsu. I got my guy Noohi, and today we have a very special guest. They're really, really, and truly, Mark, you really don't need an introduction, but I guess I have to do it if you are here, sir. So let's talk about it. This is Mark Clayton, folks. If you don't know who Mark Clayton, folks, is, Mark Clayton is the first round draft pick, number 22 to the Baltimore Ravens. Mark Clayton is a legend at OU. That's right, legend. Once you held the record, is that right?
At one point, all of them, yeah.
At one point, I know it got a little crazy after the fact, but at one point you held the
Rightfully
record.
so.
At one point you were a part of a
drinking wine.
at one point you were a part of a BCS national champion team, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Would I be lying if I said you were a first team All-American?
2-time. Yeah.
I know. I was gonna get to that. I was gonna ask you, if it was a lie, but clearly
Talk
it's not a lie.
Talk your noise.
Clearly it's not a lie.
Talk your noise.
Yeah. But check me out. I did my own research on you today because I had already knew a little bit, but I was like, let me dive into something. So I'm gonna go into something that maybe you didn't know.
Come on.
Maybe you didn't know. Did you know that you are the only wide receiver to play with a Heisman, a first overall pick, and a Super Bowl MVP?
Wait a minute. Really?
Wow.
You just found that out. Okay. Jason White.
Yep.
Sam Bradford.
Yep.
Joe Flacco.
Wow. Got me.
Man.
Beautiful.
That's big time.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you didn't know yet, you know today. Welcome, Mark Clayton, man. Thank you for coming on the Couch Coach.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, Mark,
Appreciate
we run
you,
this
man.
thing just like a football game. You played many of these, so you know how this go. This was the pregame. We're going to get right to the first quarter, second quarter, a brief halftime, third quarter, fourth quarter, and we're going to bring it home for the win.
Cool.
You ready for this?
Let's get it.
Further ado, let's start the Couch Coach. How we started off in the first quarter. This is what the hell happened. We just like to talk about what the hell happened this week in football. What did you see? What did you like? What did you hate? Tim, what the hell happened this week?
Yeah, you know what I liked. I like the fact that Dallas shut everybody up, including me. And when they went out and they beat a team that was over 500, that really came to play. Seattle came to play. Seattle tested our defense. Geno Smith showed no issues with his elbow until later in the game. Man, he was incredible. But you know who was better than Geno Smith? Was Mr. Dakota Rain Prescott. He was so good that I ordered his jersey over the weekend. It just came in yesterday.
Wow. I need one.
Hey, now Mark was on our QB huddle about a month ago. Funny how quickly things can change inside of a month because Mike McCarthy, and he has made him a believer in Dak Prescott from me. It turns out they are spending hours and hours together outside of the practice field, together, joined at the hip. Mike McCarthy, I love that man. What he has done for Dak Prescott cannot be understated. But listen, yes, I am that excited.
He's in love.
You sound different today.
I told you, if we beat Seattle and Dak plays well, I'm a believer. Well, Dak didn't just play well. He was damn near perfect. 29 of 41, 299, 3 touchdowns, 57% on third down. I don't like that we threw the ball 41 times.
Yeah.
I like to have a little bit more of a run presence. I'm still disappointed that we're not running as well in the red zone as we could be. We still need to fix some things, but man, we really did the damn thing against Seattle. And I feel good going into the game this week. I'm in the building, 50-yard line. But Mike McCarthy just had his appendix out today. And he says he's hopeful to coach in the game on Sunday. So now
He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
This is a playoff game. This is a playoff game right now.
It is. It's a must-win game for us. Just today. He had it out today.
Ooh.
Just today.
Because I remember having mine out, man, and I was up and moving in like 2 days. Like
he says
normal.
He's going to be there. So, I feel good about it, man. But yeah, that's me. I am so happy that my Cowboys have finally kind of, in the last 2 years, they beat a team over 500. They look good doing it. They didn't depend on just the defense or just some fluky plays on special teams. They depended on the offense when it mattered. The defense came up clutch in the fourth quarter, but golly, Dak was great. Dak was great.
They look good. They look good, Tim. I'm just ready to see him play against some good teams for the rest of the stretch.
Well, you're going to see it. I mean, their schedule's not easy coming out of the road.
I just want to see the
I want that number one seed. Okay? I want that number one seed. So my man Brandon Noohi.
Right now, it's a playoff game this week.
We'll be all right.
Yes, sir.
Number one seed, baby. Dude, we're coming to take it.
Talk to me. Because y'all played, it was only 2 playoff games thus far this season. The first one was just played last week, and it's the game you're about to talk about. That was the first playoff game because I think that meant something. Talk to me about those 49ers.
I could go down the rabbit hole, man. I'm proud of my boys. 42-19 on the road in Philly, right? Brock Purdy coming out party. He stayed consistent all year. But let's talk about that defense. I mean, despite Eagles controlling the time of possession, they managed to get those first 2 series, attested to field goals instead of touchdowns. I think that's what really helped. It gave us a little bit of cushion that everything was going to be all right, despite the first half with -6 yards of total offense. Pathetic. I thought this was one of Kyle's best games as far as making in-game adjustments, getting away from the 7-step drop and the play action. The defensive line is crazy good, right? And they get pressure so fast. I think putting Brock in the gun, doing some different motions, getting him in the pistol, getting the ball out of his hands, I felt like we really showed who we can be, right, if we continue this streak, right? I'm not going to talk shit on the Eagles right now. I wish 9 was in here because, he's been talking a little bit. But he's been good with me, so it's nothing but respect because I know we're going to see him again. I can't get too high on this.
I have a question for you, Brandon, as the 49er expert here on the panel. -6 yards in the first quarter. How nervous were you?
I wasn't nervous. Hopefully Kyle adjusts if we get the ball rolling, especially with CMC, and just let Brock Purdy do what he's been doing all year, just delivering the mail with timing and accuracy, precision. It was good. They did good in the first half or first quarter.
You didn't answer any text messages from us.
I didn't. Brock was up in 5, and then he finished at 17-23, 80% completion. So I think I didn't have to talk. I think I just let the game play out.
By the end of the game, but there was at any point, was there a question?
No, because on the second drive, right? They only converted field goals. And I'm like, damn, they're down 6-0. We get up 7. Okay, let's get 14, get a stop. They went on 6 consecutive drives with touchdowns that crippled them, right? And as I talked in this thing throughout this entire year, when we get up on teams like that, we suffocate them. And it's hard to bounce back, right?
What's that magic number? If you want to win, you better score. Don't let them score over 17 points.
Philly can do
we're 21-0. Score over 17 points. 21-0. We're 9-0 this year. So we continue this, stay consistent. Man, sky's the limit. They control their destiny. And I'm going to leave it at that.
They do look like the best team in the NFL right now. But to me, that game wasn't about the 49ers. It was how bad the Eagles looked. You know what I mean?
It did look bad.
We've been seeing this weekly from people playing the Eagles. You know what I mean? They've been in these dog fights. It's been some weird things happening. I'm not going to blame it on the refs, but the refs have been a part of the game. You know what I mean? A lot of their games. Some of the plays that they've been making is like, oh, wow, that's a wow play. If you got to make a lot of wow plays to win a game, I don't think it's sustainable. And I don't know about the Eagles team. And I think you get punched in the mouth by the 49ers. Mm-hmm. And then if you let it happen again, that tumble might really roll.
We'll get punched in the mouth in just a few days, my friend.
We'll see. We let it the tires, Tim. Take out the transmission. We need it.
Definitely you could definitely handle that. Mark, did you see anything this weekend? What was your what the hell moment this weekend?
Oh man, sunshine went down Monday night. It was devastating. And then Cincinnati has a backup in that's I think is pretty special.
Yeah,
Browning.
Yeah, I was very impressed with his composure. Really, when he came in versus the Ravens a couple weeks ago, I was like, man, that I don't know, but this kid that ain't I don't want to say it ain't a steep drop off, but it ain't Like I was very impressed with him.
It
And so
looked
what he
bullish,
did,
didn't it? It looked very bullish, right?
he did. Like
Do
he
you
didn't
think
say
it helped that
Anything
Joe
done.
Burrow? Do you think it helped that Joe was on the sidelines with him the
100%.
entire night, even with his arm in a sling
Absolutely.
with the iPad? That was
100%.
awesome. I love seeing that.
You know what's
So
crazy?
I want to clarify something, like because there was a reason why you were introduced the way you've been introduced, because nobody has played with that group of quarterbacks. That's a special group of quarterbacks that you played with, and I heard you use the word special. You think he's special?
That kid, I think he's similar. So it's crazy because watching him, like you said, Noohi, he looked like gave me Burrow vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Also watching Love, if you really watch him, he gives you
A-Rod.
1,000, which I think is awesome.
The slot change motion, yeah.
You know, yeah. And so I'm like, man, these kids have had the opportunity to sit and just soak it up, and they're getting on the field, and it's really looking like they've been soaking it up. They're like, the little proteges. And so, I was impressed with that performance. And then, obviously Cincinnati being where they're at to get a win. I wanted them to lose so the Ravens could have another game up on everybody in the North Division. But, it was a good game. I was hurt that Sunshine got hurt. I was big on him at the beginning of the season and felt like he was going to have a really good end of the season.
What have you seen?
It's only a high ankle sprain.
So those are brutal, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, those are so brutal.
So he really won't feel right for the rest of the season. He won't get right home.
3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But are the Jags a contender?
They're real.
I don't know about it now.
If he ain't there,
they got problems.
Without him, they ain't.
They've already been pretty bipolar all year, right? They play good one week, then they get trashed the next week, and you wonder why. Now they got to go up against two teams in their division that are hot, in the Colts and the Texans. Both quarterbacks are playing great football right now. I think the Jaguars are in trouble.
They are in trouble, big time.
Guys, they've only really beat 2 good teams, maybe 1 this year.
Maybe, but I don't think it mattered.
I know it's just the way they're winning. I'm not really confident in that. If Lawrence doesn't go down, maybe. Okay, maybe they got the chance, right? But now this has opened the door up for Indianapolis and Houston.
Big time.
Yep.
Big time.
It's
the
floodgates are open,
right?
Minshew magic, it's coming.
Minshew magic, it's very possible. So I like that thing.
I like it, man. I like that corner quarterback, man. He's good, man.
What the hell
He's got the Mikesy.
And it's a team that's very interesting, but the Cardinals and the Steelers game. Because every single time I'm looking at this Cardinals team and I'm like, God, they're terrible. They stink. This is the worst team in football. And then they go get another win that they shouldn't have gotten. They didn't just beat the Steelers. No, they beat them by multiple touchdowns. And I don't care who the quarterback was. I don't care if it was Pickett because he needed to be benched anyways.
Right.
They still beat them by 14. And that's bothersome to me because we talked about this last week. In the AFC North, the hierarchy was starting to show itself. You know what I mean? Burrow went down. Deshaun Watson went down. And all 4 teams were in the hunt to be in the playoffs. If nothing changed. So Pittsburgh Steelers, this was your moment to go seize that moment by just beating the lowly Arizona Cardinals.
Couldn't do it. Got mopped.
They had a kid named Kyler
How about that 98-yard drive by the Cardinals?
They had a kid named Kyler Murray.
It actually was like 109 yards because of penalty. It was crazy. 109-yard drive is what it is on the stat sheet. That's insane.
The 98. They
109 yards.
109 yards because of penalties or whatever the case was.
Wow. It's so disrespectful.
And what I like about it we're finding out what type of team that head coach is building. He comes from the Philly organization, and guess what? They played Steeler football against the Steelers.
Yeah, they're scrappy for sure.
Tough.
They're scrappy. Roster's not very good. They got a whole lot of early draft picks coming their way. You know what I mean? I like the future. That's my what the hell happened this week. And that's
bet you they missed James, or best they missed Connor.
They do.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna wrap it up
about that
quarter for our what the hell happened this week. Let's keep it rolling to the second quarter. The second quarter is a new segment that we're rolling out right now because it is time. But this segment is called MVP Chronicles. You know what I mean? Who's up in the race? Who's at the tops? How is it gonna move? who's our MVP today. But not only do I want to talk about who's our MVP today, there's like 9 quarterbacks hurt. There's like some really good players hurt right now.
Yeah, it's
might
bad.
have been on this list.
It's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate. They won't make it. Tim, pop us off, man. Who's your MVP right now?
Well, first, I want to make sure that I'm very clear about this because a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. And I didn't listen. I don't believe in the MVP as a whole because it's an award that's voted on by media writers who most of them haven't even played a down of football in their lives, and they just really vote for the best quarterback. And in their minds, it's the quarterback with the team that's winning, right? That guy must be the MVP, and that's what we see all the time. I think until we start to bring in the Tyreek Hills and the Myles Garretts and of course the Micah Parsons of the world, until we bring those players in and we vote on it by maybe players, to me the top 100 is more impressive than the MVP. But since you brought up the MVP, I have 2 guys that are at the top of the race right now, and of course I'm going to lean towards Dallas. But if we're talking about a quarterback award and who are the quarterbacks playing the best
Mr. Media.
right now,
don't you do this?
No, Mr. Media.
Do this.
Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott, if you look at the numbers, are clearly playing the best quarterback right now in the league. And so those are my 2 MVPs right now. I'm going to lean towards Dak in Dallas because I feel like he has to do more than Brock Purdy has to do. So I'm going to give Dak the nudge right now. And, hey, keep doing what you're doing, Dak, and you're going to win that MVP.
Has to do more?
Oh, yes.
How dare that?
He doesn't have a Debo to throw a 2-yard pass route and get 98-yard touchdown out of it. He doesn't have that.
He's got Brandon Cooks who can do that.
Play in their playbook.
Yeah, I mean it's all the West Coast system.
We have CeeDee Lamb, but
yeah,
we don't have a Debo Samuel.
Dude, you got weapons. I don't want to hear this.
We don't have Trent Williams at left.
I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this narrative. Okay, you got Tyron Smith, which is pretty damn good. You got Zach Martin, which is pretty damn good too.
With cut and dry, Dak is your MVP right now.
As of right now, yeah. That's
interesting.
Fair.
He's your
MVP. Best. Look at his numbers over the last 6 weeks, and no one's touching his numbers.
I just want to remember when
no one's touching his numbers.
Somebody's touching his numbers for sure.
Okay,
maybe
that's a legitimate case.
Maybe he's not there. No.
Oh, he's not there.
I don't know. I'm just talking.
Who's your pick then?
We know who it is.
I mean, the MVP, like he said, it should be opened up outside of just quarterbacks. Because I think what Tyreek Hill is doing is something. Amazing. If he breaks the record, nobody's ever done that, right?
Is Tyreek Hill your MVP though, Noohi?
No, it's Purdy. Purdy's number 1, and Purdy's number 1. You want to talk about at the top, Tim? You want to talk about at the top? Let's talk about at the top. Who's number 1 in passer rating? Who's number 1 in completions? Who's number 1 in TDs attempted? Who's number 1 first in yards attempted? First in yards completion percentage. Dude, ever since he stepped on the field day 1, he's looked like this. It's crazy to see.
Without Trent Williams or Debo, you went 0-3 with your
Doesn't
MVP.
matter. Doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure.
How is he the MVP when Debo's more important than he is?
I mean, obviously, you can say guys are more important than who. I mean, we can look at Dak and understand. I mean, is he the most important guy on the team?
Right now, he is.
Right now, is he? Or is it Micah Parsons?
He's playing better than Micah Parsons.
So Cooper Rush didn't come in and do exactly what Dak's been doing, winning against sorry-ass teams? Yes or no?
He did 2 years ago.
He did a good job, right?
So in this day and age, because I don't know, and I could be wrong. Basically, what we say is because you don't do as much as this guy, which is very subjective.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're couch coaches. We're regular guys, except Mark, you are not regular, but we're regular guys.
Right,
so
Mark's not
the other regular guy, you mean to tell me you can just sit back and look and say, you know what? You know what I mean? You have to do some more than they have to do. Like, or I like that guy better. So now,
sure. I just think what Purdy's doing is delivering. Purdy's doing his job. I mean, let's not throw the elite conversation out just yet. Let's give it a couple years.
Yeah.
Right. But what he's doing right now, the impact that he's made from day 1 has been paramount to our success. So I can't take that away from him.
That's true.
And he deserves it right now.
Okay, I'll give you that.
He's playing great. There's no denying that. I did say that the two of them were at the top. So,
Mark, I mean, do you have the same guy or do you have somebody different? Who's your MVP right now?
Right now, it's Purdy because the body of work to me, it's for this dude. I mean, yes, weapons. Any team for the most part has enough weapons, but Shanahan has set this kid up so nice, and it's a combination of the play calling that match his ability, and he is ridiculously comfortable, and he makes throws that. I mean, he also makes off schedule throws, and early in that game last week versus the Niners, he used his legs. So Philly goes up 6-0. There were a couple times where he used his legs to convert third downs, which were major in just getting them to the next set of downs and subsequently getting them into the end zone. And then they go on a run of 5 straight drives with touchdowns. But he just makes the right play, like in the big moments. This is arguably the biggest game of the year, and for what he did in it, he's secure. He sealed the deal for me as MVP today. And I judge based on, the big moments. Ultimately, it's all about winning the Super Bowl. It's all about, getting to the championship games and then getting to the Super Bowl. And from what I'm looking at, this kid has an extreme amount of confidence and poise and ability with chemistry in that unit that makes them unguardable, like pretty much unguardable.
Yeah, the scheme helps too, man. It's a lot of factors, and he's number one in air yards per attempt. He's got the most through 12 games in NFL history, and there's several MVPs that have won that with that actual title. You got Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Boomer Esiason, and Dan Marino. He's on pace to throw for 4,500 yards, 33 TDs, and 9 interceptions. It's pretty solid, right?
So is Stroud.
Dude, Stroud is insane. If Stroud wasn't a rookie, it's hard not to put him in there. It's just, man, I mean, didn't Dak his rookie year, wasn't he up for the MVP?
He did. He had a hell of a year.
Yeah, he was him and Zeke.
Yeah, he was up for the MVP during that time.
Yeah.
Hey, Stefan jumped out of this. So
I know he did. I just re-invited him. So we were at 22 minutes.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to pause for a second. I do agree. It was what I was about to say with what Mark was saying. The one thing I like about Purdy the most is the way he composes himself on third downs and in drives that mean the most in the games. You look at a game a couple weeks ago where he had a couple picks in the game, right? It was his first game with a couple interceptions. It wasn't going well. And what does he do at the end? He drives the 49ers down.
All the way down the field and scored that bitch. I was like, hey, he's fearless.
On that final drive. And I gave him credit that week because, hey, you fell on your face. You finally had some turnovers and all those things. But then, boom, you still win the game. So that's impressive.
People judge him off of 5 throws. And I'm like, you can't do that.
I got to stick with my guy, Dak. I got to stick with him.
I mean, you can stick with your guy, Dak. I'm just talking shit. I think Dak is doing really well. I've always applauded him for his leadership and, his sense of urgency. He's a guy that is going to be an in-house guy. He's a guy, is not going to go out and party, expose himself. He's there to win championships. And so hopefully he can overcome it. Hopefully he can overcome it.
I never liked how he played quarterback until 5 weeks ago.
Well, there's some things that I noticed even on film as I was watching.
He's starting to get it now.
He's starting to get it. He's getting quicker with the ball, but he still needs to work away from overloads and red zones. He needs to work away from that shit.
He's now starting to change his protections. He just started doing that about 3 weeks ago.
So I'm going to send you a film this week, and I just went over it with one of my quarterbacks, just about his ability. Like when it gets in the red zone, like he's throwing 4-over-3 versus 2-by-2. Why don't you take 2-by-2?
I know. Think about the Eagles.
No, but he did that, and he took those sacks, right? Instead of working, like Gallup burnt the dude off the line in press coverage. Jamal Adams is lined up with Cooks on the inside slot. And I was like, bro, that's easy. Like, why'd you take that sack? Because he's staring over here at 3-over-4. It's like, stop. Go this way.
In the Philly game.
Yeah, it was very pre-snap.
In the Philly game on the final drive, you had Lamb and Cooks to your right. You had a tight end and one receiver to your left. They were showing blitz on the right-hand side, and they were manned up on that side, 2-over-2, with a blitz coming. You have a slant with a wheel, so that slant's going to pop open because it's a rub, right? Instead of thinking that and changing protections to pick up that blitzer with his running back, he tries to beat the blitz by going quickly to the tight end who hadn't even pushed his route into the end zone. So we caught the ball short of the end zone instead of changing protections, getting that guy picked up and hitting my slant. Since then, he hasn't made that mistake. It doesn't seem like. But that to me was the biggest play in the game. And I was like, what? That's when I was really, really tough on him the next day because I was like, how do you not do that? How do you, Joe Burrow makes that decision. Josh Allen makes that decision. Patrick Mahomes makes that decision. Why didn't you? Why didn't it just bothered me. Why didn't you make that call?
Well, Mahomes makes it until they play Green Bay.
Mahomes looked terrible this week. The whole Chiefs team looks terrible.
Man,
I don't get it.
I think when he gets
I've got
off,
Mahomes as my follower, actually.
Oh,
yeah, bro. When you hear what I'm going to say that he's done over the last 3 weeks, it's not been good. It's not.
You hear that,
I'm a huge Mahomes fan.
After some weird things were going on, everything crashed. All the lights went off in the neighborhood, and now it was probably because all the Purdy talk that we were about to listen to.
The whole neighborhood got sick of it.
They did. Something happened here. But for me, in my pick for MVP, look, Tim, you said it earlier, and then Noohi piggybacked off of it, and neither one of y'all said these names. Y'all said until we start to make this a non-quarterback award, then it's never going to change. And, I think Purdy's doing a great job. I think he's being led by one of the better units that we've seen.
I agree.
Ever. You know what I mean? It's just a really, really good batch of players. It's not his fault. He's just balling out with the weapons that he has. Congrats to you. Dak Prescott, let's be real. CD Lamb is playing out of his mind right now.
Crazy.
He is
crazy work.
And pretty damn good. Jake Ferguson looks like a really dominant tight end right now.
Beast.
You know what I mean? They have something here. Brandon Cooks is being exactly what he was supposed to be brought in for. It looks good. You know what I mean? But what Tyreek Hill is doing right now is just a little different. Like you said, he's on pace for 2,000 yards, but let's be real. Do you know how many games he's had 150 yards? 6 games of 150 or more yards?
Wow.
It's impressive.
Thank you for my fantasy.
It's impressive. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I'm not everybody else. Tua is he's a game manager to me. You know what I mean? Nothing more. When you have that team, it's very easy to manage the game. When you have Tyreek Hill, what he's doing is absolutely special.
Game manager, though? Did you watch his film against Washington and that post he threw but had to turn?
By the way,
if that was a post corner, oh my God, that was the great.
Why do we use the term game manager like it's a derogatory, by the way? Game manager means that you are a highly IQ'd quarterback that can manage the game.
You manage the game. The game that is brought to you, he is managing. He's doing a good job at it. That's it. And when you have Tyreek Hill, you can do that. Everybody knows the ball is going to 10.
So anyone can play quarterback in Miami.
Managers are not elite passers.
That's not true.
Game managers are not elite passers. Sorry.
Ooh. I think he knows.
I think he knows in an era when every
team has a pretty good run game. They can manage the game. Don't turn it over.
Troy Aikman was a game manager, but he was also an elite passer, right?
Oh, I'm about to say, you better not say that.
No,
Troy Aikman can throw a damn strawberry through a submarine.
When I say game, I think of a game manager as somebody that's controlling everything, not a slapdick that just goes out there and hands the ball off, right? I mean,
understood.
I think we use game manager in a derogatory way. And Tom Brady was the best game manager of all time.
He was, but he was also elite. But so when you're dubbed straight game manager, trust you're not in the top. Like you're not considered one of the top passers.
I know.
Okay.
I just don't agree with the term. That's all I'm saying. I know. I agree with you.
It is a lesser term in terms of QB play. It's just by.
Can we just call him a bus driver? Can we just say bus driver instead of game manager? Can we say bus driver? And Tua is not a bus driver by any means. But can we use that term instead?
Tua is very good, man.
Tua's point guard.
Precise.
He's dealing.
I mean,
that's the job of the quarterback.
Yeah, is to be the point guard. He's in a perfect situation. That is the perfect storm for everybody, for the coach, for Tua, the players that he has around him. But half of the reason why he can be so great is because Tyreek Hill is changing the face of the NFL right now, and no one's talking about it. It's just happening because all this good quarterback play is happening because it's a quarterback award, and we're going to act like all these great wide receivers. We got a great wide receiver on the show right now. All these great wide receivers having all these great years, and Tyreek Hill is about to destroy it.
Yep.
And we're not talking about it.
If Tyreek does what if he finished that, he deserves MVP.
He deserves it 100%.
Not today.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, Cooper Kupp went for the Triple Crown and didn't get an MVP vote. Didn't even get a vote.
Right.
Well, totally deserved.
Right.
100%.
Tyreek has to finish it.
Because he caught the game-winning touchdown of the Super Bowl. Like, come on. Can you paint a better story?
I've seen Miami Dolphins operate with a lot of other players. It's called the most valuable player, and I just don't know how they'll operate without Tyreek Hill. It just won't look the same.
I agree.
Okay. It just won't look the same. You know what I mean?
Not. I agree.
So there's been an influx of injuries this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think some of the better players, some of the better group of players are injured and have been injured for the season. All right?
Yeah.
You might have to dig for this one. But if there was a player, they might not have gotten any snaps. They might have been playing out of their mind. Tim, who do you think would have been able to be in this MVP race? They got knocked out early.
I got 4 of them, but I'm sure some of you guys have the same. So I'm just going to come up with one name out of the 4. And if some of these other guys don't get named, I might throw them in later. But the first name comes to mind is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, what he was supposed to be to the Jets. And the guy took 3 snaps and poof, he was gone. So to me, Aaron Rodgers was the most catastrophic injury for both fans and that organization.
Big time.
That hurt, man. That took a lot of excitement out.
Sure did.
It did.
And it was right in the beginning of the season. You're like, what?
It didn't happen in week 6 or 7. It happened on play 3. It was terrible.
Yeah.
With them coming off of multiple recent MVPs too.
So,
he was. There's no question that he was going to be in that conversation if he was playing well. So
Garrett Wilson was going to go dumb.
Noohi, who you got?
Man, mine was Joe Burrow. I think what Joe Burrow was doing before he injured his wrist, he was playing at a very high level. In fact, the number one statistically outside of week 6. I mean, number 1 in yards, touchdowns, completions. I mean, he was shining, right? And I mean, Joe Burrow went to our home and kicked our ass, put on a quarterback clinic, and Joe Montana was in the seats to watch it. And I'm like, damn, best quarterback on the field is playing on right now. Nothing you can do about it. It's like, it's okay, Purdy. Hopefully we get there one day.
MC, one of these guys.
That's a machine.
It's those guys. I think who would have been a stat stuffer would have been Kirk Cousins again.
Woo! On my list too. Kirk Cousins is one of my guys.
Kirk. And they're I mean, what are they? 500 without him. So, like a solid team. I think with him, Jefferson comes back and it's usual Kirk.
Usual Kirk. What do you think about Kirk?
Statistically his best year.
30 yards.
What do you think about Kirk Cousins?
Huh?
What do you think about Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins is an elite passer.
Yes.
I think he obviously makes mistakes late in games. He has, but he's an elite passer. Like his arm is tier 1. I'd say tier 1.
Right.
He's up there with
he can drill it, man. He's good.
He's my guy, and that was my pick. Not only because I'm a Minnesota Vikings to the end, but Kirk Cousins was playing his best football. This was the first time Kirk Cousins has ever been with the same offensive coordinator 2 years in a row. You know what I mean? Crazy. That means something. Everything. Elite passer for all this time and never played with the same OC. He never had that same guy in his ear. And this year he had it, and he was showing you what he can do with it.
It was beautiful.
Crazy pace, man.
I got another guy that we didn't bring up who wasn't playing well in the beginning, but it started to come into his own and started to look like himself and had just come off a huge win against the Ravens when we found out he was out for the year, and that's Deshaun Watson. What he did in that Baltimore game really showed that he was coming along, and then unfortunately you find out, gosh, he played the whole game hurt. And now he's out for the year. So to me, Deshaun Watson was a guy that could have snuck into that conversation as well.
Yep, I can see that. Hey, look, That's gonna wrap up this segment. MC, this has been an absolute pleasure having you, boss man.
Always. Thanks, MC.
You are welcome to come stop by whenever you want. Look, we're just a group of guys, half-ass idiots. We feel like we're smarter than the guys who make millions because we are. We are just guys on the couch, but you did this in real life. So come on, whenever you want, dog.
Man,
absolutely. Thanks so much.
In the playoffs, man. Thank you.
Real talk.
Thank you.
Well, appreciate
in all off season, we're gonna be locked into 2024, so we might need you for some of that advice.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. See you on the golf course. Yes, sir.
Yep. See you on the green, man.
And we're back. It was nice to have Mark Clayton on the show. That was dope. Do y'all agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's always good to have MC in the building.
Look, folks, if y'all have not locked in with us yet, man, lock in with us at the Couch Coach Club. That is at the Couch Coach Club. Talk to us. We need to see y'all in the comments. Y'all have some feedback. Are we right or are we right? We're right. Let us know.
Like a mofo.
Let us know about it. That is at the Couch Coach Club. If you haven't followed my guys yet, please tell them where to find y'all again. Y'all know where we talk that quarterback talk on the QB Huddle podcast. Please go lock in with them as well. We're going to keep this show rolling without further ado. Y'all ready?
Ready. Sorry.
Let's go.
I've been infiltrated by my pit bull.
Third quarter, pigskin stock market.
Hey, Millie.
Who's the risers? Who's the fallers? Talk to me, Tim.
Yeah, so my riser team, the Green Bay Packers. And I'll explain why. Since they lost to the Steelers, they've won 3 weeks in a row. They beat the Chargers, the Lions, and the almighty Chiefs. They currently have the 7th seed. It's not crazy to think that they're going to steal the 6th seed from your Minnesota Vikings. Next up, they have the Giants, the Bucks at home, the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Bears at home to end the season. They could finish out 10-6, worst case 9-7. But I think the way Jordan Love is playing, man, that makes this Green Bay Packer team very, 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 very dangerous. And they're my riser team right now.
I agree.
My faller team, we talked about this a little bit with Mark, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
They lost to Cincy, but that wasn't the worst part of their night. They lost their quarterback. We don't know for how long. He could be out the rest of the regular season. He could be out 2 to 3 weeks. Their defense couldn't stop Jake Browning. They made Jake Browning look special. In Mark is what Mark said. They gave up 491 yards of total offense, man. The Colts and the Texans are 1 game behind them. The Jags could miss the playoffs, believe it or not, considering where they've been all season. They have to play the Browns, the Ravens, the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Titans. Not exactly a gauntlet, but without Trevor Lawrence, they could lose some of those games, particularly the Ravens game.
The first 2,
the Browns game. Those games are almost certain losses. I don't feel good about the Jags right now. So to me, they're the faller in the AFC.
Ouch.
That's it. That's what I got for you.
New riser, faller.
I got the riser as the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, despite the success of the 49ers right now with a 4-game win streak, these guys also got a 4-game win streak, low-key.
Another one.
They're sitting second in the division. Now Lawrence goes down, right? I do think they have an opportunity here, despite Gardner Minshew only throwing for 10 touchdowns, 7 picks. I mean, he's pretty mediocre at best, but he had his best game, and he had our Brady moment in the QB huddle. So it was pretty solid there. I think it does play in their favor, especially with Trevor Lawrence going down. I mean, we look at the next games that they have, and they're all serviceable wins, man, outside of the Texans, the last game of the year, which probably could come down to a playoff seed. I mean, they got the Bengals, the Steelers, the Falcons, the Raiders, and the Texans. That last stretch, they can get hot in December and be one of the hottest teams going into the playoffs.
Woo-wee.
Stay tuned.
Love it.
They're not giving up.
Ooh.
I'm excited about the Colts. I'm excited.
Who's your father? You're right.
The Cleveland Browns. Yeah, old Joe Flacco. MC played with him, but he was playing with the MVP, Joe Flacco. This one, man, just got the couch. He did his thing, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is the best quarterback.
That deep ball that he threw.
All right, man. He did all right, man.
That deep ball he threw hung in the air for so long, it looked like he punted it.
Man, just the way it sets up, though, fellas, the way it sets up, I think they're going to have dog fights at the end. They got the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I feel they're going to win that game. But then they got the Bears. Then they got the Texans. They may win against the Jets. That's going to be a close game because neither team can score points, right? And so,
like
and then they got the Bengals.
Spoiler on everybody.
They're going to play spoiler because they can go. DJ Moore's the top 3 receiver in the league right now in yards.
Yeah. The Bears are going to surprise
crazy?
in December.
So they can play spoiler. I can see them losing that game.
Yeah. Think about it. So I think in this division, the way it plays out, we all thought these guys were all going to get in right now, but Cleveland's sitting at 3, man, and I don't know. I really don't know, guys. I mean, I feel like they got to win out to a degree. They're sitting at the 6th seed.
Currently, I thought when they lost,
they can't afford to mess up.
The season was a wrap. So
yeah, and Myles Garrett is out too, correct?
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't know.
Doesn't look good for Cleveland.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Those are 2 good ones.
It's not good. I mean, you really stole mine, so it's not good because I do worry about the future of that team and how fast it can go down the drain because the AFC is an absolute gauntlet.
And Amari Cooper may be out.
Yeah, man. Ouch. Yeah. So my riser and faller this week. My riser, I'm gonna pop it out. Look, this is the first time I'm gonna go consecutive weeks with the team. There's a reason why we're talking so bad about the Cleveland Browns right now. It's because of the Rams. The Rams are a team that you don't really want to have on your schedule over the next 5 weeks. I mean, hey, I don't think
we do.
So. I mean, I think they're a division foe that you can go beat. You've done it before.
Bring it.
I think you'd probably rather play a lot of other teams in them.
I think we'd rather play Carolina, right?
Oh, everybody
of course. I mean, this team. What I'm seeing from this team is they are hella scrappy. It's like it's not even the normal Rams to me. It's a little bit different Rams team because they feel scrappy. They've been in some games where it's allowing the offense to take over. Like that offense took over. This is the Cleveland Browns. How often have we been raving about this defense all year?
Yeah,
all year we've been raving about this defense, and they got blew out. They dropped 36 on them. Yeah. It was a performance.
30 piece on one of the number 1 defenses in the league.
3 touchdowns. Kyron Williams, 21 carries, 88.
It's hard to stay being number 1 defense when your offense can sustain drives.
Well,
they
did when Myles Garrett was in. I'm just saying that's why we should factor in Myles Garrett being one of the MVPs because he really sets the tone for that team.
That's true.
In a game where you threw the ball 44 times. We finally saw 250 yards of passing. It's been a while. We haven't seen that from this Browns offense because of the erratic quarterback play. So in the game that happened, you got 36 dropped on you by the Rams. They're my riser.
So let me ask you about this. I mean, now you say they're your riser. They're about to go into some hostile territory
for sure.
The Baltimore Ravens, and they're coming off of a bye.
For sure.
So they're going to really rise here.
And isn't Lamar like 16-1 against?
He's 18-1.
Look, I wouldn't have said they ever had a chance. When we looked at this game on the schedule weeks ago, we were saying, "Oh yeah, dub," But I think in this case, no, you got to go fight the Rams. It's a dogfight. For 5 weeks, you're going to have to fight the Rams. They might not make the playoffs, but they're feisty. They're a playoff team.
I think they could. I think they're going to fall to the Ravens, but they're going to win against the Commanders, Saints, and Giants, and then they're going to lose to us. But they'll still be able to make it because they'll be second in the division.
They'll be right there in the thick.
And we're going to have to play them again.
Right there in the thick. I worry about
the team we play.
If the Vikings don't get it together, that's the team I worry about sneaking in, point blank.
Yeah.
My faller this week, and I'm surprised y'all didn't even talk about it. It even hurts to say, but the Chiefs, man, that was a game you weren't supposed to lose.
Not at all. That was an under 500 team.
Just weren't supposed to lose that game. The Packers are hot. The Packers are a riser. You know what I mean? Every week, it's the way it goes up and down. It goes up and down. Sure, Packers have not been going down. The Chiefs have. I'm starting the defense when Pat Mahomes is playing with the best defense he's ever played with, in our opinions.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. This defense looks
great. Defense didn't even show up.
Well, apparently they have 2 linebackers that are out now, which really affected that pass.
Yeah.
Right. So I got a Chiefs fan a buddy up the street that I go to at the store, man, big Chiefs fan, pointed that out, and I was like, damn, I see why maybe they would have messed up that. If you
and they're high end.
Folks.
They're high end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not just regular linebackers. They're guys that really aren't being talked about, but sustained good play.
Jesus. So that's like losing Fred Warner and Greenlaw in the same game.
What I worry about is, over the years, we've looked at this team and we said, Pat Mahomes is going to dig them out of it. Travis Kelce is going to dig them out of it. But if they're not able to win these dogfights against the Green Bay Packers and just for the game to look the way it did, there wasn't a point where the Chiefs looked like the better team.
Sure.
Never.
If you saw the game, there wasn't one point from the beginning to the end. I never said,
I waited for
there's the best
the whole
team.
night.
You're right.
To me, that's bothersome because this is a team that's fighting for a 7th seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
Fighting. And you're supposed to be top seed. You're the champs. It doesn't look that way. Casey got to be good, man. My faller this week. Players, Tim. Who's your player? Rise or fall?
Yeah, so if I'm going to go with the Packers as a rising team, I'm going to stick with that and go Jordan Love as my riser player because Jordan Love, he started off really rough, right? I even made a TikTok making fun of him because he was trying to take the snap from the guard. And obviously he's been having some problems. But the last 3 weeks, 3 wins, 8 touchdowns, no turnovers, averaging 285 yards a game, QBRs of 108, 125, and 118, respectively. The kid is balling. And, he's got a couple deficiencies. I don't like that he hangs the ball in the air. I don't like that he holds on to the ball sometimes a little too much. But he's starting to show some Aaron Rodgers tendencies with some of these throws.
This is rookie season.
And it makes me absolutely disgusted. Because as a Bears fan and a Cowboys fan who has done nothing but been tormented by the Packers.
It's exhausting.
I expected them to suck for 20 years. That's what they deserve. It's not fair, but it looks like they have another franchise quarterback. It's disgusting.
It is.
Talk about bet on himself.
They got another one before we got ours.
I'm glad. I'm glad for him that he didn't decide to enter the transfer portal and leave before Aaron Rodgers left. And although I wish he would have, because then Green Bay would be stuck. But here we are. Jordan Love is the real deal, and I appreciate it.
But before you move on real quick, I want to touch on one thing about Jordan Love. We don't often say people got it right, but I think both parties got that contract right this offseason.
Yeah.
Hats off to everybody. The Packers organization said, you know what, we're gonna give you more money. We're gonna make you feel comfortable. We're gonna make you feel like a starter, but we're also gonna protect ourselves.
We're gonna wait
where we can easily get out of this with no repercussions. And for him, he bet on himself. 1 year, I get paid a little bit more right now. And I got a 1 year prove it deal, and everybody is showing their ass right now. I like it.
They make the playoffs, which I'm fairly certain they are, and he keeps playing this way. He's going to get paid. They're going to take care of him.
Don't get paid.
I don't see any worries with that. So
yeah,
he's been
I
playing
like it.
great.
I like it. Who's your faller this week?
So you said no one had talked about the Chiefs, and you're right. But now I'm going to, and I'm going to go straight to Patrick Mahomes. Last week, the last 3 weeks, he's had 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. If anybody else was doing that, I would call them mediocre. His QBRs have been 71, 122. That was pretty good. 79. That's not good. He's lost 2 of his last 3 games. If anyone else did that, I would say they were mediocre. He's averaging 228 yards a game. Anyone else did that, I would say they were mediocre. He's looking to have his first road playoff game of his career. Woo! It's, I'll tell you, I don't know. Travis Kelce, since he's met Taylor Swift, he seems to have dropped about 2 seconds off his 40 time. I think he might be doing a little too much extracurricular activity, perhaps, because he's gotten slow.
Getting it in. No, I think it's a hyperextended knee too, man.
Could be
that takes a while to build back.
My man looks like Jason Witten just coming off the couch. All right, that's what he looks like right now.
No, don't do Kelce like that.
He's not. He can't run. Like I saw him trying to run a corner route, and it was the slowest corner route I've ever seen from a tight end. And I said, "No, stop it."
He's hurt, man. He's hurt.
It does something about Kansas City as a whole just does not look right, including
looks
Patrick
like it's
Mahomes.
imploding.
He's making reckless throws. He's doing things that are very out of character for him.
He doesn't look the
same. Andy Reid, I need you guys to buckle down and stop making commercials for a couple months, right? And start bundling some wins together. That's what you need to bundle at this point. You need to bundle wins, my friend. That's what I have.
It sucks. Yeah,
it does.
Noohi, who you got?
Man, you just
Risers.
Golly. You killed him right there, Timo.
You did.
Golly. Damn, here we go. Risers, I got Kyron Williams, man. Last 3 games, averaging over 129 yards. He's top 15 in rushing despite missing almost half the season, it feels like.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to say. I think he's the missing piece that the Rams have been searching for a long time with that zone scheme run game that they have. They tried to bank on Akers. It didn't work out. They did have some success with a few other running backs, but to find this guy right now, I know the coach right now is just loving it. Maybe hopefully they can compete. They have an opportunity to win some good amount of games, but they got to continue to run the ball. My follower is Derek Carr. 3 straight losses with a 1 TD and 2 interceptions. He's not scoring. He's not scoring points. He's injured quite a bit. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's fallen off of a cliff or he's just really lost confidence that the Raiders did him the way they did. I think maybe putting all those years and effort into really all that sweat equity, right? And getting nothing in return from it besides just a high deal. Of course, you're $1 million quarterback, but I feel like he understands when going into New Orleans, you were stepping into the shadow of Drew Brees. And with those weapons that he has at his disposal, them not scoring points, it's detrimental. And those guys aren't used to that.
It's true. Fact.
Yep.
How? There you go. I got a point with that one.
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
It's a little bad right now.
It is. So for me, look, man,
Jaden Daniels for the Saints.
My riser right now. And it's unfortunate that he has to be a riser. But I gotta talk about a kid I talked to you guys about already this season. Just learn the name Nico Collins. It's unfortunate that he's really it's gonna be robust what he does for the rest of the season. Because Tank Dell has a broken fibula. He's out for the season.
Yep.
He was turned into the number 1 target in that Houston Texans offense. But I think with Nico Collins getting healthy off of injury, he's really showcasing that he is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. And it's just been showing week in and week out. And as soon as Tank Dell went out, it was like nothing changed. He turned into a deep threat. He wasn't even a deep threat over the past couple of weeks, and we got to see that, and I just really enjoy watching him play. If you turn on that film and you watch any Houston Texans football, make sure you tune in to Nico Collins. He's a baller, folks. My faller this week is probably a surprising name, but a player that was talked about heavily at the beginning of the season has been very, very quiet lately. It's on a falling team after the smack session that they had from the 49ers. But has anybody seen DeAndre Swift?
No.
Do y'all remember when he was he was looking like RB1 when he came off 175 yards and then the next week
for a little
bit.
Next
week, a couple weeks ago. I mean,
the next week he had 130 yards, and it was like, ooh, Swift is balling. Do y'all realize after that? He had 56 yards, 70, 18, 62, 57, 43. He got it back up there. Chiefs got it back up there. 76. Then he got even a little bit better against the Bills. 80. And then against the 49ers, 13 yards.
Oh, no.
Damn.
If the Philadelphia Eagles want to win, it would go through running the football.
Period.
It's not Jalen Hurts.
No.
If they're going to win and if they're going to defend them going to the NFC champions, being the NFC champions that I thought they were, after getting smacked around by the 49ers, Swift is going to have to pick it up. 6 carries, 13 yards means you were trash. 2.2 yards a carry, trash. He's got to pick it up or the Eagles are going to win. Yeah.
Damn.
Love it. Love
Dead
it.
bird. Ouch.
Figure it out.
Ouch. Let's go to the next segment, man. It is the fourth quarter, baby. It's the fourth quarter. It's the thick of the NFL. It is heat. It's hot right now. If you're in the kitchen, you better get out. I'm cooking. I'm cooking.
Oh, I'm cooking
I'm
myself.
so hungry. Stop talking about your cooking.
I'm cooking.
Yeah.
I'm cooking.
The smartest idiot, where we guess and we give our predictions on who's going to win this week. Let's pop it off, Tim. Let's go Thursday night in this pretty ugly game. Patriots at the Steelers. Who you got?
This game is disgusting to me,
Yeah.
but I'm going to go with Pittsburgh.
Why is this even
I feel
on?
like New England's just a waste. So, yeah, Pittsburgh will win
Trubisky's
this
the
game.
starter.
Trubisky gets the start.
I love Mitchell, but I still think
What a
New England's
player.
a mess. So I'm gonna. I mean, I love Mitchell. I think Pittsburgh under Mitchell is better than Pittsburgh under what's his name, number 8, Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think New England's very good. I think they're a dumpster fire. I think Bill needs to go fishing with Jimmy Johnson. So yeah, I got Pittsburgh 100% in this game.
Get the low, Jimmy.
No, who you got?
Man, I got the Steelers. That's easy.
It feels like a very ugly game. I want to try to get some wins in. Here's a couple reasons why I'm going to go with the Patriots here. Zappy gets another week. Let's just see. He gets another week. I really like how they play defense against the Chargers.
Outstanding.
Great defense.
Prize
But
I mean,
they made Keenan Allen look little out there. They
Justin
really
Herbert
shut him down.
trash.
I think they can do that against this Pittsburgh team. Najee Harris is hurt. You know what I mean? Part of their run game is not going to be working. I think it could work in their favor. I like the Patriots on this one. Let's go to Sunday. Buccaneers at Atlanta. Division game. It gets serious. Make or break time.
Yeah, I got the Dirty Birds here. I think 8 weeks ago I would have told you Tampa, but now I got to go with Atlanta.
Yeah. Noohi?
This is a tricky one, man, because they played a pretty close game last time, right? And the Falcons are low-key. They're on a 2-game win streak.
They are.
It's in Atlanta. Is Desmond Ridder playing?
He is.
So they got everybody, and they're starting to pick things up with Bijan or Robinson. Yeah. I got the Falcons in this one. Yeah, I think the Falcons get it done.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it would maybe if it was in Tampa, maybe.
Yeah, if it was in Tampa, maybe. Yeah.
But I got the Falcons. I like the way they're playing. That defense is really good. The Falcons' defense is just they're playing really, really good football. This is a division game that could honestly go either way, and I don't care how people feel about it. Lions, Bears, who y'all got?
I got the Bears after Detroit losing to Green Bay. Now you're on the road. The Bears are feeling good about themselves. They're playing better than they have all season. Justin Fields is playing for his job. I got the Bears beating Detroit in a surprise.
Yeah.
I think this is more important to Detroit than anything. I think it continues to keep them closer to the number 1 seed, despite, they're sitting at 3 right now. And they're just coming off of a win, a dogfight in New Orleans. I think they keep the train rolling. I don't see them faltering here.
They've been in a lot of dogfights with teams that aren't very good. And I think the Bears team.
They played Chicago close. They came back from Chicago. They came all the way back, 31-26.
Got you, man. But that was Chicago losing the game way more than the Lions winning it.
So, okay.
So that now that they got to play them at home, the run defense is playing great. And if Jahmyr Gibbs is playing really, really good. Montgomery coming back, it looked really, really good for this team. But if they get one-dimensional, I don't know if they're going to beat the Bears. I don't have them beating the Bears. I got the Bears in this one.
Nice.
We got the Colts against Jake Browning and the Bengals.
This is a tough one for me because I believe in the Colts and I believe in Gardner Minshew. But I believe that the Cincinnati Bengals got something working there, even with Jake Browning. So I think this game's more important to the Colts, but I think the Bengals are going to win this one at home.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, coming off of last week's game for Gardner Minshew, that's the best game he's played all year. And now he's going to have to go up into hostile environment with coming off of a big win against a plus 500 team in the Jaguars. I have the Bengals winning this. I think they're going to steal one. mean, they're on a 5-game win streak, but it
all
could be
good things
snapped.
come to an end.
It could be snapped.
You can still pass on this Bengals defense, but unfortunately, because of
Minshew isn't as strong.
Weird things that have happened with some other teams, they haven't been able to pass on them for a lot of different situations. I think they're hot. I think they roll into this game, especially coming off of that high of the game that the Bengals played. I think they're going to steal an away game.
Yep.
I like the Colts in this one. The Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Cleveland Browns. So just a couple of backups playing each other.
Yeah, I got Cleveland winning this. I think Jacksonville's going to struggle without Trevor Lawrence trying to figure that out. I think they're going to see a lot of stacked box to slow down ETN, which is the offense is going to have to run through him. I think Cleveland is going to do a good job this weekend, and that defense is going to show up.
Dog pound. That's a dub for him.
Same here. I got Cleveland. By maybe multiple scores for some reason. I got Cleveland. The Panthers at New Orleans. They got a chance?
This is a trash game.
No.
If the Panthers are going to win a game, it might be this week, but it's so hard to win in New Orleans. I'm going to say that the Saints go ahead and win this game.
Yeah, Saints win.
Saints?
Yep.
I got the Saints too. Yeah. I'm not going to be crazy. I got the Saints on that one. The Texans at the Jets.
Houston Texans, baby. I got the Houston Texans. I know the Jets are going
may be
Zach's back starting again.
This may be a trap game for the Texans if they don't handle business, man.
I feel it too.
Oh, man.
I believe it, but I got to believe in Houston right now until they make me a non-believer.
Call me crazy, but I think the Jets are going to steal this one with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, you're not crazy.
I think they're going to steal this one. It's going to be a low-scoring game. C.J. Stroud may have the hardest game of his career in this one.
I think so too, man. I think there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment. I shouted out Nico Collins earlier. There's going to be an adjustment without Tank Dell. That's just a piece.
That's a huge missing piece, man. He takes the top off of teams.
The time that he missed, Noah Brown balled out. But guess what? Noah Brown's been kind of back and forth hurt. I something about Zach Wilson, everybody being fired up. Maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe. I think they believe in Zach. I think he's going to come in fired.
Win? 10-3? 10-9? Something like that?
I think it's going to be a field goal.
13-10?
I think it's a field goal.
I mean, this is going to be ugly if the Jets win, right? If the Jets win,
17-13?
Yeah.
Houston's not used to playing in this type of weather.
What's the weather going to be like?
Cold.
CJ played at Ohio State.
It's going to
cold in the horseshoe.
It's going to be 54 and windy as hell.
We'll see.
Okay, so he's used to that. He played in Ohio. There's no problem.
We got a confirmation on the Jets here.
I got the Jets in the upset.
Same here. I got the Jets. No lie.
All right.
Texans. I'm sorry. Damn it. I'm sorry.
Texans.
I got the Jets.
Yeah.
Rams at Baltimore. Rams. Maybe
Ravens.
Coming off the
Ravens
bye
are coming off a bye, man. They're about to blast off against the Rams.
For that number one seed with the Miami Dolphins right now. I think between them and Miami, whoever gets it is gonna get the road to the Super Bowl. So I say Baltimore. Too much on the line for them not to win this game. It may be a low scoring game. It may be like 14-13, 17-14, but Baltimore's going to win the game.
Noohi?
Baltimore. Coming off the bye, I think they blow the doors off of them, man.
Yeah.
Lamar is low key. He was rising as the MVP, man, and he's kind of fallen off a little bit. But I think this is one of those explosion games. Like, holy shit, Lamar's back.
Could be.
Think about it.
Yeah, I can see it too, man. I mean, you get the rookie involved. You get both rookies involved.
I think this is a runaway
for a bye week. Damn, man. If it wasn't a bye, right now, how hot the Rams are, I would have picked the Rams. But with them coming off of a bye, it's theirs to win. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, they're going to roll. Minnesota Vikings at Las Vegas.
I really like what's going on in Las Vegas. I really like the culture change there. If they run the ball and stick to it, I think the Raiders could win this game. So I'm going to go with the Raiders. Hate to do that to you, Steph, but I just don't feel good about your Minnesota Vikings right now.
I hear you.
I think Justin Jefferson comes back with Josh Dobbs. I think the Vikings are going to pull this off. The defense hasn't changed. There's nothing that's fallen off with them. They're very stingy defense. They're going against a rookie quarterback, Brian Flores. I think they're going to cause problems for him. I think they understand that the number one goal is to stop the run, but also create pressure for him to, force into these make small window throws, right? And I think the Vikings are going to steal one in Las Vegas.
I do too, man. I think that honestly, the Vikings, the way it looks right now, that defense is playing out of its mind. They're really, really good against the run right now, and they have shown that all season long. With being a rookie quarterback, it's very hard to play the Minnesota Vikings right now. I don't think it's going to be an offensive thing. I don't think you have to worry about offense this game. I think the defense is going to do exactly what it needs to do. The sprinkle of Justin Jefferson, the fact that Josh Dobbs got to have a few more days to just let it soak in and really figure out this team, I think it's gonna help. Some guys went to Cancun. They're back. You know what I mean? But with that being said, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to win this game. Because I go against the grain. That's right. Seattle Seahawks versus the
49ers.
49ers.
At the 49ers?
Yeah. Yep. At the 49ers.
Round 2.
I want to say it, but I can't say it because I have Cowboys colors on, so it would be wrong. I might burst in flames if I say what I want to say, but I'll just say San Francisco is going to win the game. I was going to do the whole, what the Niners say, which I can't say because I'm wearing Cowboy stuff right now.
Bang, bang, Niner gay. Ooh. Hey, man, I don't think this is going to be an easy win. I think this is going to be closer than what people think. And the reason why I say that is because they're coming off of a game where Geno was clean. His tricep is feeling better, right? They ran the ball really well. They played very tough versus the Cowboys. I don't think this is going to be an easy win by no stretch. But if we get up on them by 14 and suffocate Geno, it's a wrap. We'll probably beat them by 30. We'll probably beat them by 21. But we'll see. Should be close, though. I think it's going to be close. I got the Niners.
I think it's going to be close maybe in the first half, and then they're going to blow the doors off them.
We'll see.
It's
one game at a time, baby. One game at a time.
It's simply that the pass rush is playing out of his mind right now, and they're not running the ball very good in Seattle.
18 sacks in 4 games.
Yeah, it's because they have to pass the ball so much. They can't run the ball very good. And I think if you want to go beat the 49ers, you better be able to run the ball at least a little bit. You have to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to control the time of possession if you want to beat that team. I got the
Keep
49ers.
Purdy off the field.
It's not happening. This is big. This is big. This is one team's playoff. This is their playoffs right now. Buffalo Bills at Kansas City. This is a playoff game.
So these are
folks.
2 elite teams that, for whatever reason, this year haven't been able to figure it out. One team is in the playoffs.
Yeah, one team's good.
One team is fighting to get there.
At the bottom.
Because of how poorly they've played, and I think Buffalo's played just a little bit better. I'm going to have to go with the Bills in this one, that the Bills are fighting for their lives right now. I'm going to say the Bills are going to go into Kansas City and steal one.
I think the Bills shock them and go in and beat the Chiefs.
If they don't, their season's over, so they better win.
Yeah. They have to win. This is a must-win game.
The margin of error right now is crazy because they only have 6 wins. There's 4 teams with 7 wins.
Yeah, it's not good.
And that doesn't count. There's 4 teams with 7 wins, and that doesn't count the 4 teams that are already locked for their division. So it's dirty. And I don't see them winning this game. I don't see Kansas City losing back-to-back games like that. I think that they're looking at themselves right now like, hey, we got to get this together right now. That's why they're my faller. They know it. They see it. And they know that they have to suck the life out of Josh Allen right now because you don't want to have to do it in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So do it right now, and that's over with. I got the Chiefs at home.
I'm going to change my pick because I didn't realize this was at Arrowhead.
Yeah, it's at Arrowhead.
Yeah, this is the Chiefs.
All right, I'm staying
it's
low.
Over. I'm sorry. It's over.
Ouch. And guess what? The Buffalo Bills.
It's over. It's an Arrowhead, bro.
The Buffalo Bills are 1-4.
I know. Let's go, Buffalo.
They're 1-4 in away games.
It'll be fine.
Ouch. They only win in Buffalo.
Turn it around
Could
this
be
week.
an upset week, man. Could be an upset week. It looks like it. Looks like it's leaning this way.
I think this is a make or break. This is a make or break game for this team too. And I know it's so early to say things like make or break, but if I'm rolling off of what I just said, if I'm saying the Chiefs are going to win this game, the Broncos versus Chargers.
So the Broncos let me down last week. I expected them to continue their win streak, and they did not. But that being said, I'm not going to stay hurt. I'm not going to be vengeful, and I'm going to stick with them for one more week, the Denver Broncos. I'm going to say they're going to go into L.A., probably have mostly Bronco fans in the stands, and they're going to win the game.
I got the Broncos.
This is that I think this is such a big game. This is such a defining moment for both teams. One of them 6-6, one of them's 5-7. The division record is exactly the same. So I think this is such a big game. I'm gonna take the Chargers actually. And
this is upset week 14.
This is gonna be that stupid game that the Denver Broncos lost that just changed their whole season. And you didn't see it coming. They were right in the thick, and then you didn't see it coming because they lost this division game. I got the Chargers at home. All right. The big one. Sunday Night Football. Philadelphia Eagles at the Cowboys. Who you got, Tim?
It's easy. I got the Dallas Cowboys.
He said easy?
Dallas Cowboys don't lose when I'm in the building. And I'm going to be in the building. 50-yard line. Right below Jerry Jones's box.
They lost when you were in the building in this particular section?
Listen. Have they? They might have lost one game when I've been in these
I know. Didn't you go watch the Niners? They take that L.
No, I wasn't I did not go to the 49er game. Okay. Yeah, I got Dallas winning this game. I think we owe Philly. But let me be clear, just so you guys don't, start texting me and thinking that I'm suicidal if we lose the game, because I'm not. Because if we do lose this game, even if we win this game, the chances of us changing our playoff seeding is very, very slim. So if we do lose this game, I think it helps us, because there's no way, and I mean no way, that the Cowboys would lose twice to the Eagles in the regular season and then lose to them in the playoffs. So go ahead and beat us this week if you want to, Philly, but that will guarantee you a loss in the playoffs. But we're going to win this week. I said what I said. I stand by it.
Okay. All right. You stand by it.
I love how he was like hedging his bets. He was basically like, I got the Cowboys, but we can definitely lose and it'll be okay.
Yeah, we can lose.
It'll be okay. He's going to say it now.
Yeah. Who you got, Noohi?
Listen, this is the most important regular season game of Dak Prescott's career.
Oh my gosh. I'm glad you're not in the locker room with him.
No, I like that. And I say this because the narrative of beating 500 teams, now you're playing arguably your best football you've ever played in the 8 seasons MVP of being at Dallas.
6-0 at home.
Here's your moment, dude. Here's your moment. Grab him by the nuts. As a Niner fan, I am freaking rooting for you, my man. I am rooting all the way. Cowboy, we them boys. I need y'all. I need all that energy. Wow. All that energy, man. I need y'all to take the transmission out. We just let the tires out and took all that shit off the hinges. You got to kick the doors down, undress that, take the transmission out, let the oil out, and beat their ass. Can you do that for me?
Look, we could do that. We could do that. I don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to make it out of this game. If
I'm my theory was the Cowboys do what they always do. It's going to look real hot. I think they're going to go out there and they're going to bust these boys. Big
hope game. So.
I think
God,
gonna show
please
y'all,
win. Please
MVP.
win.
I will say I do think
show us you're the boys. Show us you're the boys.
I don't trust them after this game, but I think they're fired up for this game. Wow. I think they're very fired up for this game.
They got a lot of energy, and they're 15-16-0 at home right now. Right, they're on a 16-0 win streak at home.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And I got one guy that's just playing better football. Dak's gonna go. I play Jalen Hurts. Simple as that. On this weird Monday that I didn't realize we had 2 Monday games.
Doubleheader.
The Tennessee at Miami. Who we got?
Oh, well, first of all, why do we have 2 of the ugliest games of the week on
ESPN and ESPN Plus?
It's just disgusting to me. Tennessee at Miami. I mean, look, I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Ain't nobody beating Miami in Miami. the Miami Dolphins are going to run away with this. Tyreek Hill might have 300 yards catching. It's going to be disgusting. Tennessee's going to get blown out.
It's the Fins. They're gonna win.
Yeah,
they're gonna have career best against the Titans next week and this week. So
career best.
Watch.
Do they?
They're gonna blow the doors off of them, bro.
Whopping.
Let's see what the weather looks like.
My wife told me today she's hoping for the
75, cool and calm.
Oh, yeah,
that means tee it high and let it fly.
Let it fly. In the field. I hear.
You realize, y'all, we could get a replay. I don't think we will because the Cowboys will get there before the 49ers do. But we could have a replay of the 1984 Super Bowl in which we had Joe Montana versus a rookie Dan Marino. This could be San Francisco versus the Miami Dolphins.
No.
That'd be fun.
No.
That'd be fun.
It would be fun, but I don't see it. I wanted to have every
for Miami, dog.
I wanted to find every reason to get
Two ain't gonna be able to move, man.
Titans a win here, but I just don't see it. I got the Dolphins. They're gonna run away with it. It's not even gonna be close. This other game, maybe make or break for one team. A weird matchup, just because I don't dislike one team, but we got the Packers at the Rising Giants.
Are they, I mean, it's been a good story. They got Super Mario Brother at quarterback.
They're on a 2-game win streak.
He lives with mom. They do his laundry. Everything's great. He's doing great.
Hey, Pacino.
He's got the attitude. He's got the swagger. But you know who else has got some attitude, some swagger? Jordan Love in Green Bay Packers. And it's here's the test always, right? Especially with young quarterbacks. I say young because he hasn't played in the last 4 years. Can you go on the road and play as well on the road as you did at home? And so far he's played well on the road. This is a Monday night game. Everyone in the country is watching you, and you're not in Lambeau Field. So let's see what you're going to do, but I think the Packers win this game.
Call me crazy. I think the Giants upset them.
Me too.
I hope so.
Me too.
This is upset week, bro.
It's actually going to be a pretty good week of football.
I think they're going to steal one.
I think they can steal it. Look, I mean, for me,
he's playing out of his mind.
We switch these though, because the Dolphins play the Packers and the Giants play the Tennessee, so that I only have to watch one game, which would be a good game, which would be Miami versus Green Bay. I don't want to watch Miami play Tennessee, nor do I want to watch New York play Green Bay.
This is going to be such a big upset.
Look, Tim. I think let's not get too ahead of ourselves with Green Bay. You know what I mean? They've shown us that they're not very good. You know what I mean? I love the winning streak, but they have shown us that they cannot be very good. This could be a Denver Broncos team all over. You know what I mean? Just they're the NFC version of the Denver Broncos.
Giants have shown us the same though.
They have, but I like the young kid. It's something about coming off of the bye. Rookie, you got some time to let it soak in. You're in New York,
swag.
Such a big market. You know what I mean? They have a sample size of things to look at. They had time. I kind of like the Giants at home.
Let me switch my pick. You talked me into it. In New York, Big Apple, people that you realize that when you go to a game at Jet Life Stadium, that it takes you 4 to 5 hours to get home from that stadium.
It's different.
Those people are dedicated as Giants and Jets fans. I changed my pick. I'm with you two. Upset week. I go with the Giants.
I think it's upset week, man.
I hate the Packers.
They're coming off of beating the Chiefs.
Yeah,
they're riding high. People weren't talking about them as a playoff team.
Well, they are a playoff team, but they're going to get.
People were talking about Love was a bust. You know what I mean? I think this is the method of getting popped.
Well, let's see. I
like it.
I'm going to ride with y'all because it gives me a reason to watch the game and pick against
me the Giants. It's giving everybody a reason on the doubleheader. Don't watch Miami. It's fun. They're going to smoke the Titans. You watch this game.
That's right.
Yo, fellas, I like this episode. This is fun.
Greatness.
This is fun.
Let's go.
You know, I mean, look, from the beginning of the season, like we said a lot of things, and so many things are coming into fruition. You know what I mean? At this point, I just feel like us here at the couch are smarter than these guys who make millions because we are.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah. Chicago, I'd like to take your job at GM if you need somebody.
Ooh.
Just saying, I could help.
Any expansion teams, come get us.
Oh, that'd be great.
Come
love it.
We love it.
Talent evaluations.
Mark, play us that theme music.